Okay, everybody, welcome to the fourth episode in the Curious Circuit podcast. And also, this is coinciding with the Scholarship Scholar, Dr Bikal on YouTube, and Bikal will tell us more about that. Okay, in studio today, I have two fabulous guests, Dr Bikal and Dr Raghu. And really, this is a casual conversation about scholarship opportunities, right? And we're going to talk a little bit maybe about our own careers. So I'm going to start, if that's okay, and then we'll move it around. Okay, so I'm Barbara Doyle Prestwich. I'm currently Vice Head of the School of Bees, Biological Earth and Environmental Sciences here in UCC. I am a trained plant biotechnologist. And over the years, so I'm a permanent member of faculty in University College Cork, and over the years I've worked on things like bananas, pineapples, strawberries and potatoes. And I suppose the common theme that connects all of those things would be sustainability in food production. We can go into a little bit more detail if we want later on, but for now let's continue with the introduction. So, Bikal.
Thank you, Dr. Barbara. Hello everybody, and my name is Dr Bikal Ghimire, and I'm very happy to be here. As we are doing a parallel podcast, and I would like to formally welcome my audience to this podcast. This is the first episode of the Scholarship Spot by Dr. Bikal. And today we have two distinguished guests with us. First, already she introduced herself, Dr. Barbara Doyle Prestwich, who is also the Vice Head of Plant Science at the School of Biological or Environmental and Earth Science at University College Cork, UCC in Ireland. And we have Dr. Raghu, who is also the Research Officer at Research Support Office in UCC. And today we are going to talk about scholarship opportunities for graduate, undergraduate, PhD postdocs at UCC or in Ireland. And in overall, we will be also discussing about the academic life in different European countries, maybe a little bit about Raghu's experience in the USA as well. So yeah, from my side also, I would like to welcome you both on the Dr. Bikal Scholarship Spot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Super. So, Raghu, will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Dr. Raghu Badmi. I am currently working as a research officer in UCC. In my current role, I am supporting all the researchers in UCC and also outside to write the grant applications to apply for grant funding and get the grant funding and to work in UCC. This may be, the applicants may be the PIs or the postdocs who wants to be a postdoc or the PhD students. I support national and international applications, grant applications for funding agencies. So I have been a postdoc before, but more about me later on during this podcast. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Bikal.
Great. Bikal, go on. You start off. So I know you have some questions.
Yeah, I definitely have some questions because currently I'm in Ireland. I mean, I'm a permanent researcher at the Norwegian Research Center in Norway, but it was very fortunate for me to get to connect with Dr. Raghu, who also did his postdoc at NIBIO, where I was doing my PhD, and that's how we got connected. We never met before, but we connected through LinkedIn and Facebook and had little chat over there. And when I was looking for a host group to apply for a grant, then I immediately remember Raghu and told, okay, can your group host me for a month or two? And then he told me, okay, I'm not currently working directly in research, but I'm working to support research things. So, and then Raghu connected me to Dr. Barbara and Dr. John. And I absolutely feel so good when I had first meeting with you and John, like that was the main reason, okay, they are so supportive people. I have to be there at any cost, and luckily I got the grant. I got the grant.
Very nice of you to say, Bikal.
It's good to say.
Can I interrupt you slightly? So Dr. John is Dr. John Mackerel, right? From the Department of Physiology, based in the College of Medicine and Health in UCC. And John and I have worked as part of the UMICET research group for, I think, nigh on 12 years now. Wow. So we've developed a great relationship. And actually, that's a classic example of interdisciplinary work, because John works, on animal models. He does some research in cancer, but now we're also jointly working on this group of organisms called oomycetes. And a member of the oomycete group would be something that our listeners might be familiar with. It's late blight, so potato late blight. Now, there are other oomycete species that are really important, and say, I mean, Phytophthora ramorum would be another one, and of course they go the sudden oak death, but they go broader than that.
Yeah.
But that's very kind of you to say that we all kind of, and this is what networking is all about, because we talk to our undergraduates all the time about the importance of networking. Maybe joining what are called cost actions, or even word of mouth. So you knew Raghu recommended to you.
Yeah.
You applied for a grant in Norway. You were able to travel to Cork to experience the work we're doing. And might I say, you have been a great addition to the research group. But it's been a pleasure hosting you.
I'm so happy. Thanks for having me. I'm absolutely happy. Like like working with people like you and Joan. It shows that in academia there are so good people.
Yes,
I mean sometimes academia can be very toxic. There have been so many bad experiences of a lot of PhD students and postdoc as well that I hear often here and there. But academia is also so good because of people like you.
Yes,
I can say that.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say.
I totally agree with that.
I feel we've been very fortunate though, and this seems to be a kind of that adulation going on here. But Raghu, it's been great. I mean, people like yourselves, and the other thing, and we'll come back, Bikal, to some things you want to say as well, but and it's something again I encourage young students to do. LinkedIn is a great way of connecting, right?
True.
Because I think, Raghu, we had our initial contact through LinkedIn,
yes, absolutely.
right?
Yes,
and we can tease that out a bit more shortly, the reasons you did what you did and all of that. Okay.
Yeah, so let's get back to our theme of today's podcast. I would like to know, how would you describe the school's, like UCC, overall approach to internationalization, particularly for non-European students? Because why I'm saying non-European students is because I live in Norway. In Norway, there was free education before, but now it has been stopped. It's free only for the European students. And there are lots of non-European students who dream about their future in Europe. They want to come to Europe to study and have good future over here in terms of academia or professional life. But the foundation or the basic thing that they want to do first is to get the education. Yeah. And it can be very difficult for students from low financial background to pay for their education here. Absolutely. So I'm just wondering, like, if there are any approach from the side of UCC, or if there are any opportunities for scholarship for non-European students, for both graduate, undergraduate, and PhD is a job I can understand, but maybe we can talk about that as well.
Yeah. I'll go first, Raghu, just to say that University College Cork, now in the top 1% of universities globally. We've climbed in the recent QS rankings. And there is a huge emphasis on internationalisation within the university and an excellent support structure across the university, right? And there are opportunities for non-EU students and postdocs to come in and join research groups, but also, pursue their undergraduate education here as well. I know Raghu has introduced himself as a research officer and as a former researcher, really has a great background and understanding of the landscape to be able to explain to people, because you fall directly into that category, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe, do you want to come in there, Raghu?
Talking about the opportunities, of course, UCC is open to all the nationalities around the world, and there are a lot of opportunities in applying for the scholarships for the postgraduates, for the master's students, and for the PhDs, as well as for postdocs. For the undergraduates, it is, as undergraduate program is a course-based structure, students can enroll in respective courses and come to UCC. And once they are in their pursuing their undergraduate studies, they can look out for the opportunities to apply for postgraduate funding. We have several funding calls that specifically focus on postgraduate students who want to pursue the postgraduate studies. For example, one of the calls that is upcoming is the Government of Ireland funding call from Research Ireland, and that is open to students of any nationalities and any background who want to pursue postgraduate studies in UCC.
And that will open, I think, in generally around August, right?
So this call will open end of August, so last week of August.
So keep an eye out. How would you encourage people to find out more information about that, Raghu?
So you can Google search for Research Ireland, Government of Ireland programs, and you should be able to find out the Research Ireland link for the Government of Ireland funding call. Also, you can just contact me at my email, rbadmi@ucc.ie, and I can provide you with more information that you will need.
Great. And is that only for masters and masters by research students, or that is also applicable in a way for undergraduate? Is there any chance for undergraduate students to come to UCC under funding or something like that?
Not under this call, but probably not under any of the other calls as well, because undergraduate is mostly the course-based structure. Mm-hmm. These are the research-based funding programs, because the research, the funding calls are, the funding agencies are more focused on research.
But can I just hop in there? We do have kind of more and more now, we're seeing internationalization across our undergraduate degree programs, and maybe funding through things like the Erasmus scheme.
Yeah.
And there may be other opportunities for undergraduate students in their own country to get funding to come here as well. But, we do see a lot of Erasmus uptake coming into our undergraduate degree.
Yeah, I want to comment on that. Being I was a promotion coordinator for the Erasmus. I was in the Central Erasmus Board back in 2017, 18, 19. Okay. So I know that for non-European countries, it's a bit difficult to get into Erasmus exchange in the bachelors. For the masters, it's possible. A lot of students do that. But for bachelors, students out of Europe, it's a bit challenging and not possible for all of them. So I was just wondering, because I have a lot of audience who are very interested for undergraduate studies in Europe, but then I also find it challenging to find any good information for them. Mm-hmm. But you both being at UCC, I was just wondering if you have any specific information for undergraduate students, if any such opportunities exist, they can apply for a scholarship in Ireland or for something in UCC.
Yeah, I think I can't tell you all those details straight off the top of my head, Bikal, but I will say to you, we have an excellent international office. And they can find that just by going on our UCC website and searching for the international office. And that would be the first way that I would suggest that those people you're talking about get more information. You know, I mean, an excellent way. And I haven't had international undergrads into my lab, but what I have done, I've had students who've come over on Erasmus. I'm just using Erasmus as an example. And they have come into my taught undergraduate course. And then they have asked, could they stay on for the summer as a work placement opportunity? And Raghu, do you remember, some of the names now escape me, but do you remember the lady in Spain that we... in Madrid. Oh, I'm sorry now, I've forgotten.
Elena.
Elena was doing, I think, pharmacy and biotechnology
in UCC.
She was doing it in Madrid, wasn't she? And then
she was doing it in Madrid.
And then she came over to UCC on an Erasmus to take one of my modules, and she really enjoyed it so much that she stayed on for a period of time. And through Elena, we got in touch with her supervisors in Madrid, and we were able to kind of take it from there and work together. So it's a great opportunity, not just for the students, but also for principal investigators to get connected via the undergraduates as well. So I'd recommend that. But Bikal, going back to, you said your particular audience, I would suggest the international office as the first port of call. But to check the website, check in with the UC website is navigate your way through the website. I think you'll find additional information there.
And just for the viewers' information, when I was in the Magima building, I saw there's an office, International Students Scholarship Office. It has a particular name, Scholarship Office. So maybe the viewers who are interested in the undergraduate studies at UCC, you should go to the website of UCC and check for the scholarship office at UCC. Yeah, exactly. So,
and just can I come in there to interrupt you now briefly? Excuse me. Is that each program has a director?
Wow.
So again, if a student who's interested in this looks at the program that they want to pursue, the director of the program's name will be on the UCC website, along with an email. So that's another
helpful,
good starting point.
Wow, that's amazing. So getting into these things, I just remember one thing. One thing suddenly popped up in my mind. Masters by research at UCC. So can you just say something about that? Because I met a guy who is doing masters by research, and our Andrew, he's also doing masters by research. So I got to know that it's really well paid. Far better than Erasmus. So. Is there any information that you would like to share? How can any students apply for Masters by Research at UCC?
Yeah, so that goes back to what Raghu was saying. The Government of Ireland, Research Ireland, Government of Ireland scholarships, they also cover masters.
Yes.
And that's what Andrew is doing.
And is it announced like as a vacancy, or is there a kind of something different, like similar to Erasmus, you have to apply for a scholarship, something like that, or is it a job that you have to apply through vacancy announcement through the portal?
So it's a mixed model.
Okay.
Bikal. So it could be that the student applies with a personal statement. Raghu, do you want to come in on that?
Yeah, maybe.
That's more your domain for the Government of Ireland.
Yeah, I think Government of Ireland is majorly you apply for the scholarship and you get the scholarship and you come here in UCC and work. Is there any other way, Barbara?
Well, really, the first thing is those students who are applying will liaise with a potential supervisor in UCC. So they'll work together, before the application goes in. That's how that works. But the other way is that, say, if a principal investigator gets funding from a funding agency like Research Ireland, they then may offer an ad for that post of the master. So there's there are multiple ways in.
Okay, so it can also be announced just like a PhD vacancy.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's just intertwine this with something about your experience being a person in academia in the US. You did your PhD in the USA, or?
No, I did my first postdoc.
First postdoc in the USA. So how do you compare the academic life of USA to the European culture? I mean, just for the audience information, Raghu did his postdoc in USA, Raghu did his postdoc in Norway, Raghu also did his postdoc in Sweden, and then also a postdoc in Ireland.
Yes.
So
Raghu is quite an international.
Yeah, he's a very international researcher, and he has a lot of experience about academic life in multiple countries. So maybe your insights about this can be very helpful to a lot of audience who are wondering whether they should target United States for their further education or Europe for their further education, in particular in Europe, Ireland, Sweden, Norway. Raghu.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. And to start with, I would like to say that I'm grateful for all the opportunities that have been in many different countries, and it brought me lots of experiences, lots of life experiences and learnings as well. So I'm really grateful for all the opportunities. So to start with Bikal's question of comparing the US academic culture to European academic culture, of course, as you might guess already, the US academic culture is a bit more expecting, so you will have that pressure all the time, which is good in many ways. Like you will get, so you will reach your goals, or you will achieve things that you set out to achieve. If you are a kind of person who is not self-motivated, for example. So US is good in that sense. Like if you are a person who works under pressure, it's great for you. If you have greater goals, greater aspirations, and you are not self-motivated, I think US would be the perfect destination for yourself. US, so comparing to Europe, so in Europe, there is work-life balance, and it is more enforced. Like your supervisor will remind you that, hey, work is not everything, and you are allowed to take off time from your work. And that's not the case in US. No supervisor in the US, at least the ones that I know of, will tell you to take time off, to have a life. But that's my honest answer. So what was your next question again?
Okay. My next question was just like in an overall way, how do you see living in the US as compared to living in the Europe as an academic person? Yeah. But I just want to add one more thing in that. I mean, you can talk about pros and cons of both European living standard, and I mean, it doesn't have to be living standard. It can be the pros and cons of living in the US and living in the Europe. And in that, I want to add a statement. I have heard this a lot. Even in my current work institution, there are some people from the States who are working in Norway and they don't want to go back to the US. And they literally said this statement that in the US, people live to work, but in Europe, people work to live. So do you have any comments on this? In together with the pros and cons, or whatever you feel, living in the US and living in Europe?
That's a great question. And I totally agree with that comment that in US, you live to work, and here in Europe you work to live. I totally agree with that. And coming to your actual question of the differences, differences in you can just mention pros and cons of both countries. Living in that. So I feel the biggest pro of living in the US is that sky is the limit. Okay, there is literally every opportunity for you to take on. There is literally every opportunity for you to try and fail and then try again and succeed. There is this system built around in the society that. So there are multiple opportunities. Even if you want to transition into a different area, for example, I come from a plant science background. Even if I wanted to go into industry, there are many opportunities to go into industry. If I wanted to go into business sector, for example, I could probably take a course or something, or just an work experience, and then I could transition easily to a management sector. So essentially, like, you have your imagination to yourself, and so the opportunities are wide.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so that's not the case in Europe. Okay, so when I say that, I don't mean to. It's not a negative thing. So when I say that, it means that there are local language requirements in Europe. For example, I lived in Norway and in Sweden, and from what I hear from my other past colleagues as well, if you live in Germany or in France, you will need to learn the local language to get any job outside of academia. You have to learn. Even a job in a grocery shop, in a shopping store, you have to learn the local language. So that's the essential requirement, and which is great as well, but it takes a lot of time to at least get to certain basic language skills, and once you do that, the life could be easier. So those are some of the pros and cons. That's okay.
How is your Norwegian and your Swedish
living
in those countries?
Can you just say about the pros of now coming back to the same question? What do you feel? Why do you feel living in Europe can be very great? I mean, we talked about opportunities, and I agree that sky is the limit in the US. There are lots of opportunities, and language has no barrier there. But what is the thing that you loved about living in Norway, Sweden, or Ireland in terms of Europe, apart from work-life balance?
Yeah, so I think the people are amazing everywhere I go. In Norway, to be very honest, I love the landscapes in Norway. It is like no other. Even in the most dense cities like in Oslo, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So beautiful.
So the lifestyle is very lax. It's embedded in the society. You can actually feel that people are relaxed, much more relaxed. Okay?
Peaceful.
Much more peaceful. Okay, there's no pressure. You can literally feel that in Norway and in Sweden. The people are amazing. They're really helpful. Everywhere you go, you can ask for help. They really help you with open arms. Also in Ireland, to add to that. So the lax culture, what I feel, is also prevalent here in Ireland as well. So it's not like you are being spoiled or something. Okay, you have your responsibilities and you are expected to do your job, but no one will be on top of you all the time, putting pressure that you should complete some stuff. So here you are your own boss, sort of. Even if you have a boss, you are expected to have that responsibility, that motivation to do your job. What was the question?
Okay. In any way, can we wrap this the talk about US and Europe with a statement that if you want a very hustleful life, or if you want to rush in life and do a lot of things, want to try a lot of things, look for a lot of opportunities in a certain age, maybe US is the good place for you. But if you are looking for a good, peaceful life, relaxed life, or work-life balance thing, then maybe Europe is the good thing for you. Can we wrap up this with this?
But can I also add something there, guys? Remember that, for younger people listening to this, it's very good to do, Raghu, what you did. You moved different countries, you moved to different labs, you experienced different research training opportunities. Yeah. So, I wouldn't like to end by saying, because quality of life might be slightly higher in your experience, Raghu, in Europe rather than the United States, I still think it's very important if people want to avail of those travel opportunities.
Yeah.
And because we all learn all the time from looking at different research groups. I mean, I haven't travelled as much as you have, say, Raghu or Bikal maybe, in your careers, but I've certainly availed of all training opportunities in different countries, and say through cost actions in Europe, it's trans-European, but through Horizon Europe funding, I've been able to liaise with different groups around the world, and I really do think, because science is global, it's really important that we don't become insular. That we
I completely agree
talk
to that.
To each other.
I totally agree.
I
totally agree with that, Barbara. I think if you are a young person listening to this, you should definitely try and experience as much opportunities as possible. Like go to the US, go to different countries and explore, experience the culture, experience the lifestyle there. It's really important for your career.
In that, I want to add that I feel so fortunate that I could come to Europe through Erasmus. I mean, in my university, it was a tradition to go to US. Every seniors, they went to US. And I think I was the first candidate who got the Erasmus scholarship. And then I felt like, okay, everyone is going to the US. Let me experience Erasmus. Let me go to Europe. And because it also had the opportunity to get 2 degrees at the same time. In 2 years, 2 degrees from 2 universities, traveling across Europe. So I decided to come to Europe, although I had opportunities from US as well. And after coming to Europe, then I realized the foundation in which the Europe is standing, the sustainability goals. So that impressed me a lot. So
well, you're in the right university for that. We're ranked very highly in the green metrics. And, I mean, you've seen, while you've been here, even though it's only been a few weeks.
It's so green, so green. I would like to say to the viewers, UCC is the most green campus I have ever been to. Like before coming to here, I always felt, University of Göttingen in Germany, where I was, it was so green. I loved Wageningen University in terms of research and academia. It's the #1 university in the world in our domain. Then Norwegian University of Life Science, where I did my PhD. It was super beautiful. It's so beautiful campus. It's the most beautiful campus in Norway. But after coming to UCC, I felt like, no, man, UCC is so beautiful, so green. It's so green.
So it's
I absolutely loved it.
Barbara can add more on that. UCC is the Arboretum, actually.
So we have the UCC Arboretum, which UCC sits on. I can give you a bit of the blurb now based on our project, but UCC sits on about 42 acres.
Wow.
It has 2,500 trees. And so we got funding over the last number of years to kind of raise awareness of the Arboretum and bring it to life and do tours, and then we extended that around the country. So, can I also plug our website now? It's the Irish Tree Explorers Network website, and there are fantastic resources there for teachers and members of the public alike. And also we have a website dedicated to the UCC Arboretum. And you can find out more about the trees we have on campus. But you're absolutely right. And over the years, when I've organised meetings, international meetings, it's the first thing that our visitors talk about is how beautiful the campus is. And of course, we celebrate this year 180 years old. Our university is. So I'm delighted to hear you comment on that.
I can add one more statement to that. Like whenever I travel around UCC, whenever I walk around the library or somewhere, I see tourists going around the university taking pictures, because UCC is like a tourist hub as well. It's like a tourist spot here. Cork is the second biggest city in Ireland, and UCC is in Cork, and many tourists who visit Cork, they definitely visit UCC as well.
And can I just mention now at this juncture that one of my colleagues, Owen Latisse, always comments on this, that going back to the foundation of the university, around about the time the famine was happening across Ireland, so we talk about potato blight, we mentioned that earlier, but at the time when the famine was, raging across Europe and Ireland, UCC was opening its doors, and it was one of the earliest outreach projects in that right from the start, the idea was that the university wouldn't be just confined to a certain number of people, but that the university is for the people. And so people were encouraged, even if they weren't studying here, to come in and appreciate the grounds, and that's how it should be, right?
That's a great thing.
So coming back to the academic culture at UCC and the opportunities for international students, do you have an estimate of the data, like how much percentage of the students are international here at UCC? A rough estimate.
You talk to Raghu, and I'm going to check the latest estimate, because that's something I didn't do. Let me just check the latest estimate.
We can.
But I do know that we have quite a large percentage, and it's growing all the time.
The viewers can check. Whoever are interested to join UCC for their education, they can definitely check that. But maybe I can ask about. You are the vice head of the School of Biological, Environmental, and Earth Science. So do you know that if there are opportunities like specific for biological science, earth science, environmental science? If we talk about scholarship for graduate students, is it something like there can be individual scholarship for the discipline-specific domain, for example, for biological science, something different?
Yeah.
Is it like that, or it's a common one, and the students can choose wherever they want to go once they get a scholarship? Are
you talking about postgraduates now, is it?
Yeah, anything, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to read you the statistics I've just found in the International Office. We have nearly 4,000 students.
24,000. 4,000
international students, drawn from 104 countries. Okay, with over 300 plus university partnerships across the globe in research. So those are excellent statistics. And like I said to you earlier, Bikal, there is a dedicated website for international students, which I'm just looking at here now. And you can see non-EU undergraduate applicants, non-EU postgraduate applicants, and non-EU undergraduate and postgraduate.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to open that there. But for your listeners, specifically for your YouTube channel, if they Google scholarships and funding, International Office UCC, they will find additional information. So there's a link there to the list of all scholarships available. Okay.
So great. Thanks.
So the different colleges across the campus, including College of Arts, Celtic Studies and Social Science. There's the College of Business and Law. Our own college is Science, Engineering and Food Science, and of course the College of Medicine and Health. So there are scholarships. If you click on those links, you'll find more details. But just going back to what we said earlier and what Raghu introduced, so the Research Ireland, Government of Ireland scholarships. That really is an excellent opportunity. Yes. And the call will open again in August. And for your listeners from, say, outside of Europe, Bikal, I know Raghu has given us his email, so it's or Badmi.
rbadmi at ucc.ie.
Yeah, so rbadmi at ucc.ie. And so Raghu, really helpful, will answer your queries.
Thanks. I can keep your email in the description. And just to remind the viewers as well, like we just checked, Barbara checked the website, and the information is so vivid there. The scholarship for European students, scholarship for non-EU students, application deadlines and everything. And there are lots of colleges, an individual fellowship or scholarship for individual colleges as well. So viewers, if you're watching this video and really interested to move to Ireland for your graduate, undergraduate or postgraduate studies, do visit scholarship information website in the website of UCC. So maybe we can just come back to the science. We can come back to science now. And so we know that Ireland had a big trouble, and not only Ireland, it was a global trouble back in the 19th century during 1840s, early 1840s, the Great Irish Famine.
It affected Ireland much worse. And
the peak worst year was in 1847.
Black 47 it was called.
So can we just talk about something like that and maybe give a little information about science as well, and omisits to the viewers, so they might get little information about what we do work as a scientist to help solve world problems.
So can I talk about a project I had years ago, and it was working with, I'm trying to think now, 8 labs across Europe and 3 countries in Latin America. So the field trials were based in Ecuador, Bolivia and in Peru, and we worked on potato, and of course the origin of the potato is, we know, Latin America. But when we talk about growing food, growing plants, growing trees, that whole area is beset with a number of different problems, including how to manage pathogens, right? And as soon as a plant, we grow a plant outdoors, you can be sure that it is going to encounter some problems. We call them biotic stresses. So how does one deal with those stresses? Now, actually, last week and the week before, I was talking to commercial growers in Ireland, and I posted some information on LinkedIn about that. And so say if we look at potato, right, in particular, and so there are, hundreds of commercial growers in Ireland. So how do those individuals deal with pathogens in the field? because you could never grow a field of, say, potatoes, it could be anything, without having to do some intervention to control the disease, right? So we are always, and you mentioned, SDGs earlier and the whole area of sustainability. We are committed across Europe under the European Green Deal and the Farm to Fork initiatives in particular to reducing inputs for our crops, right? So what that means for your viewers or your listeners, Bikal, is that we are trying to grow plants but to reduce chemical sprays, for instance, as much as possible. But I always say, nobody has told the pathogens this to stay away because we don't have as many sprays available to us. So what do? So there are lots of different kind of interventions that are used around the world. So we talk about, in this part of the world, integrated pest management. Yeah. So that includes everything from crop rotation. Okay, so it's just good use, good agricultural practice as well. But there are other kind of interventions that we know about, and I'm going to hand over to Raghu in a moment. Some of these interventions might be less, can I use the word palatable? Might be less palatable to some people because they don't necessarily like some technologies that have evolved, right? And, moving away from potato and maybe over to strawberry, Raghu, which is something you've worked on the last number of years. And there's a particular kind of intervention that you were using that we know, whilst it's acceptable in, say, Latin American countries and in other countries like in the United States, we're not so accepting of this technology in Europe. Now we're hoping that will change over the next 12 months, and there's been a lot of talk about this, so hopefully that will happen. So Raghu, without further ado, as they say, how about you tell us a little bit about that technology that could be used in Europe to stave off the pathogens?
So what Barbara is mentioning is this CRISPR-Cas technology or gene editing technology, and this is very different from the conventional GMO.
Can we stop? I will check the camera. I think the battery is dead. I will change the battery.
Okay, we're still recording here, so we just before you move on with your genome editing, Bikal was checking.
Stopped. I have no idea when that is stopped, but
we're okay to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so Raghu, you were telling us about genome editing.
So genome editing technology, which is very different from the genetically modified technology, GMO technology. So in genome editing, you edit the genome as the name suggests, like you precisely edit single nucleotide or single letter in the DNA or few letters in the DNA, as opposed to modifying a complete gene or inserting or deleting the complete gene in the GMO technology. So why genome editing is much more better or much more efficient is that this mimics this mutation or the change in the nucleotide sequence with one base pair or few base pairs, few letters in the DNA. This mimics the naturally occurring mutations in the nature in plants. So essentially, when you perform the genome editing in a certain plant, the resulting plant will have the genome sequence that may be similar to the plant that has evolved in nature. Mm-hmm. So essentially, you won't be able to distinguish between the two plants that nature has evolved and you have made in the lab and using the genome editing technology.
And mutations are common in nature, right?
And mutations are very common in the nature.
Exactly.
We call it random mutations. And so this makes this technology like the safest technology around in protecting the crops. So we can use this technology to improve the resistance of the crops, like the strawberry plant that I have worked in my previous project, or any other crops.
What's the benefit to the consumer in the supermarket, Raghu?
So you will have, I think the main benefit would be the increased shelf life. For if you're taking strawberry, for example, your strawberry will be much more long-lasting.
And the benefit to the farmer?
So the farmers will experience much less crop loss.
Exactly. And
pathogens.
reduced inputs. So
Reduced
fewer
inputs.
chemical sprays will be needed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly,
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, no way suggesting that this is the only technology that we have to adapt, but this is one of the tools that we definitely need in combination with other technologies that we have to make our crops much more resistant to pathogens.
Of course, we haven't mentioned climate change, which is one of our big threats, right?
Yeah.
So how does that technology relate to when we talk about climate change and biodiversity loss? What's the connection, Raghu?
So I think when you increase the resistance of crops, you are actually reducing the waste that is generated from the agriculture.
Yeah.
So you are positively contributing to the sustainability already.
And also many of our sprays are based on fossil fuels,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So we
yeah.
can reduce fossil fuels by a large acreage. Then you don't have to have machines going onto land spraying. So it's a multiple benefits resulting from this technology, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I just pop in? Maybe we can now. Is it okay to go back into the scholarship opportunities?
Sure.
And
we'll just say we'll have to wrap up.
Yeah,
soon,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
We've
So
gone over
just
our time.
to remind the viewers again that as Raghu is the research officer at the Research Support Office for the grant application, would it be safe to say the viewers that anyone who wants to come to UCC, not necessarily they are the previous students at UCC, to apply for a grant to do their graduate studies or postgraduate studies at UCC, they can contact you and they can maybe together involve in a grant application with the potential host research group at UCC. Would that be safe to say that?
Yeah, that would be okay. That would be definitely safe to say. But also, I would encourage you, if you're an undergrad or even looking for an undergrad studies, I would encourage you to go and check the website, UCC's website, different colleges and different schools, and identify a potential supervisor that you are interested in, who is working in an area that you are interested to work and develop a network, so that when a vacancy arises in their group, you would be able to apply, or you would be able to apply for grants with that particular supervisor. So I think that's very important.
I think that's very important, and that's what Raghu did. When I was looking for a host research group, I sent my CV to Raghu, and Raghu forwarded it to Joan and you, and then that's how we got connected.
Comes back to networking.
Networking is really very important.
Could I add something to the Masters? I know in my own School of Biological Earth and Environmental Sciences, and I'm in the Plant Science section. So if any of your viewers or listeners, Bikal, from say outside of Europe, go on to our BEES, called BEES website, Biological Earth and Environmental Sciences, they will find, say, ads for lots of different things, but one of them being the Masters by Research in Applied, or Master by Research in Plant Science, right? And so in that, we've listed potential supervisors with their areas of speciality. And so your students who might be interested can go on that website and email supervisors directly with their interest. And over the years, I said to you earlier, it's a kind of a multiple models are available with respect to the funding, and Raghu has outlined many of them. Another one is that we have had, for those students who can afford to do this, that we've had self-funded Masters by Research. So to check the current fees, go on the UCC website, and there's a bench fee associated and all that. So some students might be in a position to do that and want to do it. So it's a kind of a third option, isn't it?
And maybe there are options for in-campus part-time jobs as well to support their...
I mean, one might say, unfortunately, students these days, many have to take jobs to kind of support their studies. And I know a good few of our students are doing that as well. But exactly. So
any statement from you, Raghu, as a final message to all the viewers who are looking to move to Ireland to establish themselves for the future? I mean, it can be academic, it can be non-academic suggestions, anything. As you are living in Ireland since 3-4 years, So any message from you to the viewers?
I think Ireland is a great country. If you get a job, you should definitely come here. Or if you don't get a job, then look for a job or look for an opportunity to come to Ireland. I especially like Ireland because it's a really good mix of talent and and ease of doing business. That's how I describe. Like, of course, the official language here is English, and regular conversations are all made in English. But also there are lots of opportunities here as well, and especially UCC has a thriving research community. You should, if you can find a supervisor who can support your application, you should definitely apply UCC as a host. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Raghu. And just to add to that, I think Ireland also has headquarters of lots of big companies, in the world.
That's a big plus.
Yeah. So, any message from you, Dr. Barbara, to the audience about their potential future academic application to UCC?
Yeah, I think, and look, I'm only going to speak, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the university, I'm speaking as a member of staff within the university, and my own experience of dealing with people like Raghu and all of the other many students who come from different parts of the world. The feedback is excellent.
Yeah.
We definitely provide an excellent environment for the students. We were talking earlier, Raghu, about the facilities within UCC. That's notwithstanding that we need a bit more investment from the government to maybe improve certain aspects. But there's no doubt we do an excellent job, and the feedback from international students is really, really top. And so, keep an eye on our website, I would say, is the first thing, University College Cork. Also look at the School of Biological Earth and Environmental Science. And hopefully we look forward to hearing from some interested candidates.
And you might get some emails for potential master thesis research.
Absolutely. b.doyle, D-O-Y-L-E, at ucc.ie. But all my details, along with my colleagues' email addresses.
And I'll add your details in the description of this video as well.
Absolutely.
And I can add to that, right? I mean, I'm here for just 1 month, but I have been absolutely in love with this campus. I love it, and I'm loving my life in Ireland. I might move to Ireland. I might move to Ireland in future. No one knows. But
what about our trip to Wexford to the commercial growers?
It was great. I really enjoyed it. Yes, and so Dr. Barbara she takes her students for field trips. So I loved it. I loved the field trip to the potato farm. I had never seen a factory like that, how the potato, like from production to post-harvest and packaging.
Cool.
It was great to see that. Thanks a lot for that, actually.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. And the following week, you didn't come with me, but I went to a smaller enterprise. So it was good to see the contrast between, because I always think, and maybe I know we will have to finish soon now, but one of the things that I always try to do in my lectures, for instance, the undergraduate lectures, is while we talk a lot about the science, it's really important to see how the growers are working at the coalface.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, they are the people who will be implementing the technologies that we are promoting, right? So it's really important, and Raghu knows better than anyone, because of your role in the research office, the importance of outreach.
Yes, absolutely.
And having like stakeholders and talking to people about the co-creation is the word we're using, isn't it? Co-creation of research.
Yeah.
Because we're not just doing research for the sake of doing research within the confines of the university. It has to be translated, literally in our case, into the field, right? And so we're all very interested in ensuring that right from the outset of projects that we have people on board where we can share our knowledge widely beyond the peer review system, right? And I suppose we were having this conversation over coffee earlier, that it's really important to make sure that the information gets out there. And this, your YouTube channel, my podcast, goes some way to doing that, to raise awareness and to encourage the next generation of scientists to come on board and, help us with these major threats, with climate change, with biodiversity loss, with and all the other aspects of, say, the European Green Deal and all the things we're trying to do in a way to improve, ultimately, our quality of life, right?
Yes. Yeah. And just before we wrap up, Barbara, I know that you have a podcast channel in Spotify. So could you talk a little bit, just information about that, so the viewers can navigate to your Spotify and listen about your talks?
Yeah, so your viewers on YouTube. This is also being recorded simultaneously for the podcast is called The Curious Circuit. Yeah. So you might actually add the details.
Yes, I will definitely add your details for the podcast, Spotify podcast.
Yeah, so look, I started this podcast because I'm so interested in outreach and, sharing messages and inspiring people. So this will be the 4th episode of the Curious Circuit podcast. Yeah. The first episode, I had a great conversation with a scientist, a colleague of mine, James Richardson, who works on cacao. Oh. So we all love chocolate, right? Yeah. So he talked about his experience as a student as well. Oh, wow. And, as a postdoc, and then what led him and how he got through the system. So I would encourage your viewers to watch that as well. Mm. The second episode, we were in studio with the Irish Tree Explorers Network team talking about that Research Ireland funded project where we brought our work across the island of Ireland.
Yeah.
So that started from small roots, pardon the pun, in Cork to going across the island of Ireland. And then the third episode, I spoke to final year applied plant biology students, asking them for their experience of their degree programme. And they loved it. I have to say, they were very enthusiastic students talking about their experiences over the 4 years in UCC. Actually, that also would be good for your viewers, because they talked about all the different things they did from first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and they talked a lot about the field trips.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we emphasise a lot in the School of Bees is field trips, national and international as well. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Barbara, and thank you so much, Dr. Raghu, for this very nice opportunity that we could talk and share the knowledge, and it would be very helpful to all the viewers.
I hope it's helpful. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.